with me, I have a very interesting guest, and you are?
Marty Cantrell.
And how old are you, Marty?
I'm 50.
50. So, I understand that you were in the war.
Yes, ma'am.
What war were you in?
I was in the First Gulf War for Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and for Provide Comfort.
It's very interesting. I don't know what probably any of that means. How old were you when you enlisted?
I was 21.
Very young. Why did you join?
Well, at the time, I just had got out of college, and it felt like the right thing to do.
That's understandable. Did you see any combat?
I did. Several times.
Where were you stationed at? Mostly.
Well, I've been all over the world. I've been to 18 different countries.
Wow.
So, as far as being permanent duty stations, I was stationed in Bergstrom Air Force Base, Austin, Texas, Kunsan, Korea, Langley, Virginia, Lakenheath, England, and Fort Walton Beach, Florida, at Herbert Field. That was all my permanent duty stations while I was active duty.
Have you ever been out of the country of America?
That's 18 different countries.
Oh.
I couldn't name all of them, but I've been all over the world.
Okay. So do you have any valuable, memorable experiences?
Oh yeah. Getting to see all these different countries is one of the memories I have. I especially like Germany. Visiting Germany is a whole lot like hills of Kentucky. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of hills and a lot of greenery. One of my last trips was over there. Was to Germany. I retired in March of 2010, so I had 26 years in.
That's a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Were you awarded any medals while in service?
Oh yeah, several.
What were they?
Phew! I said my highest award would be I had a Legion of Merit. Okay, I had Air Force Meritorious Service Medal. I have 4 Air Force Commendation Medals. I have 3 Achievement Medals. I have Outstanding Unit Awards. I have several of those. I think 5 or 6. There's Good Conduct Medal. I have a Korea Defense Medal. I also have a Liberation of Kuwait Medal. I have the National Defense Medal. Put me on the spot. I know awards, different awards. I know I have over 20 some.
That's very amazing. How did you stay in touch with your family when you were in the war?
Well, mostly by letters, and we would they'd give morale calls. You got a morale call maybe twice a week that you get to go and make a phone call. Then also too, you could also use local phones, but you would have to have the calling cards and stuff, and people would send you calling cards through the mail to be able to use while you was over there.
So was it not very difficult, but kind of?
Well, yeah, at times it was. During when the war kicked off, we went 40 straight days. We was working 12 and 14-hour shifts without a break. So it was difficult then because they didn't want you to actually call out, because of the war.
What was the food like over there?
Well, actually, the unit we actually had a mess hall as a tent. We lived in tents when we was during the war, and we actually had a pretty good, decent mess hall. We got 3 squares a day.
Not probably better than the cafeteria food at Valley.
I don't know about that, but it's pretty good.
How did people stay entertained over there? What did they do to entertain?
Well, we had what they call the MWR tent, which is Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. They actually had a satellite TV that you could go and watch movies and stuff in, you know, and then some TV shows they would broadcast in. You know, it was a big tent that had chairs set up, you could go watch it.
That sounds. Do you remember the day when your service ended?
Yeah, it's not been that long ago.
Well, yes. What was you like feeling like glad that it was over?
Well, fulfilled, you know, that I had finished my, you know, retirement. A lot of people don't go in for that long, but I thought I made a career out of it. So.
What did you do like after the days after being back from war?
I spent a lot of time with the family.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, we tried to spend a lot of time there, and then when I got back too, I was at the time I was in the war. I was actually living in England. We lived, our whole family lived over there, and while I was in the war, she was actually living in England with the kids by herself. My wife was Karen, and so we got to travel a lot over in England. I was over there, you know, when we got back.
But I would love to go to England. Where did you go to work after, or did you go back to school after the war?
Well, no, I stayed in the military. Yeah, because the war was between, it was in 1991 was the war I was in. And so I stayed in the military after that. But now I retired. I actually got out of active duty after 11 years, and then I went to the National Guard and the reserves and finished out my 26 years. So I actually was working. I worked here at Wayne Supply and then at Carter Machinery. And then I went back to school, became a GED examiner for the state of Kentucky for a while.
My dad went and took the GED.
Did he? I was actually the one that gave the test.
I don't know if you had my dad or not, but probably not. Did you make like any really close friendships while in the war?
Oh yeah, I have several good friends. You know, especially when you're overseas with your family, that's all you have is really the other military members. You know, so there was a lot of them.
So that's technically became your family.
Mm-hmm.
Family from family.
Yeah, I traveled extensively over in Europe. I was part of the Air Force softball team, but actually, you know, after the war, we actually traveled and played softball all over Europe.
Do you still stay in touch with those people?
I do. Several friends. I guess Facebook makes a lot of that.
Yes, it does make it easier. How does the military service, like, has it affected your life?
Well, I think it's made me a better person. You know, I can't say that the military would be good for everybody. They would get as much out of it as I did, but I thought it was a very, very good experience for me. Made me a better person.
How did the prices of goods over there during war differ from the prices now?
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, I was stationed in Taif, which was in Saudi Arabia, which was back from Kuwait a ways. But I noticed that the price of gas, which the gas station was right in front of a big oil refinery, you know, that's where we get most of our oil from. I know it was 22 cents a gallon during the war. So it was quite a bit cheaper. I know over in England, when I lived in England at the time, gas was about $5 a gallon. So, you know, it's a lot more expensive, the gasoline is in England as it is here in the United States, but it's a lot cheaper in Saudi Arabia.
What were your first days like? What was training like?
I went through basic training. It was tough. It was tough at times. But in the Air Force, it's more of a mental game than it is physical. You know, you have a lot of mental struggles. You know, they try to put up on you. If they're not going to empower you to do simple tasks like make your bed into a perfect four-corner square and all this, how can they entrust you into working on $1 million piece of equipment or an aircraft? So that's one of the part of the things why a lot of men.
It's very difficult, sounds like. I'm not cut out for that. Like, what were your instructors like? Were they mean and scary?
No, there was, you know, it was structured. I mean, you know, you'll have some discipline. You're supposed to be. That's just part of the military. But overall, they were pretty good. I mean, you learn a lot from them. I mean, that's what the bottom line is. You know, you need to learn, because everything they're teaching you just helps you when you're out in the field or in, you know, like in a war situation.
Even though it's tough, you know, sometimes it's still, you know, learning experience.
Yes, very rewarding.
Well, I'm very grateful for your service.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm sure everybody, the audience out there, is very grateful also.
I appreciate that.
I thank you for doing this interview for me.
Not a problem.
And that's the rest of the story. How many minutes?